House Republicans form a task force in search of answers about the Chinese Communist Party's response to the coronavirus and the alleged cover-up of information which could have helped stop the global pandemic. I want to bring in Florida Congressman Michael Waltz to discuss the GOP's new task force. Hi, Congressman. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks so much. Happy to be with you.
So the Republican task force that was announced last week by Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy to scrutinize China's influence in the U.S., its efforts to take over international businesses, and most importantly, its reported role in this initial outbreak of COVID-19. How do you and your colleagues plan to get any straight answers from the Chinese government, given the record of deception and misinformation regarding COVID-19?
Well, we will certainly incorporate the ongoing investigations into the committee findings, many of which are from the intelligence community. And you're absolutely right. The Chinese have not been forthcoming. They still have not allowed us access to ground zero or to patient zero, and have effectively covered up the spread of this virus and the nature of it for their own gains. But really, what I think bigger picture this is going to prove is a real wake-up call for most Americans in what we're dealing with the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. This isn't about the Chinese people. This is about their authoritarian government. The fact that they are not our friends, and the fact that they seek to dominate a new world order where the United States is subservient to China, and they plan to do that economically and then eventually militarily.
Well, then, Congressman, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is saying that there is evidence that this virus came out of a lab in Wuhan. He's declined to elaborate on that, though. China isn't necessarily going to just allow American or global investigators into Wuhan to investigate those claims. So how exactly, what sort of plan do you have in place that'll be able to allow lawmakers in Congress to verify or obtain any credible evidence to get China to admit that they're at fault for this?
Well, I don't know that we'll ever necessarily get China to admit, but I do think we will present the evidence that the intelligence community has brought forward across a number of members. And what I really am excited about this committee is it has representatives from all over the United States and from across a number of the key committees, from armed forces to healthcare to education to labor. To the financial markets, because what the Chinese are doing, the government is doing, is taking a whole of government approach from vacuuming up our technology to buying up our distressed businesses in key technology areas, to even taking hundreds of billions of dollars through our markets and through our trade deficit that then ends up funding their military buildup. And so we are going to need a broad-based response. That's what this committee is looking to do. We need to begin thinking about the Chinese Communist Party just like we thought about the Soviet Union. They are taking Cold War style actions against the United States to dominate as the global leader and superpower, just as the Soviet Union was doing. And it's going to take a whole of government, whole of society response, from our universities to our hospitals, and then, of course, to our military and our financial markets.
And then I want to switch gears a bit here. Minority Leader McCarthy blasting Speaker Nancy Pelosi for not bringing the House back into session while the Senate was back for a week now. Do you agree with McCarthy that all members of the House should be back on the Hill, even though we still have cases of COVID-19 popping up in D.C.?
I do. Look, if our healthcare workers and our first responders and others are deemed essential, the White House is at work, as you just mentioned in your previous piece. The Senate is at work. I think the House of Representatives can be at work as well. You know, this is a lot of this is about individual responsibility. We can do this in a way, spreading out hearings, spreading out committees, staggering our votes. But look, the American people expect us to be at work for them. There are things from a highway bill to the defense bill, in addition to, if we want to consider additional corona-related stimulus packages that need to get done. What's really going on right now is Pelosi and her lieutenants are at work behind closed doors, crafting a multi-trillion-dollar package full of goodies for the progressive left that they're going to spring on all of us and just tell us to vote on it. That is not what my constituents expect, and that's not how the Congress should work.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.